Hey everybody, sorry I can't be there with you, but hopefully Mr. Brito will set you up by showing you this video, but then projecting behind me the image that we'll use as a reference. So this exercise will be very similar to the lemon exercise we did last quarter, and actually operating under the similar sort of ideas of moving values from one hue to another in a gradated form, whether it's the background or something like in the lemon where you're going from kind of a brownish color up to a lighter yellow. And then of course, obviously where edges meet, that's a little bit more distinct line, and where no gradation is used. It's just one color very clearly next to another color. The paper will be laid out. It's about this size for you, and what we're gonna be doing today is really the preliminary drawing and the underpainting. So you need a pencil. I've only used one brush for this whole exercise, and the colors that we're gonna be using are our gesso white, our burnt umber, and our lemon yellow hue. So we're gonna be trying to replicate exactly the composition that's gonna be projected in front of you, as I will show you in the example right now. First thing I like to do is create an overall shape and how big that fabric takes up on the space. After you do that, let's look at some of the folds that are very distinct and obvious, and from there you can go with some of the more detailed folds and how they build into the surface and create those overlapping forms. After I have that, I'm going to plug in some of these shadows, whether they are hard shaped shadows or they are transition gradated shadows. And these are all going to be notes that I'll use later for when I drop in my underpainting colors. First color I'm going to use is the ultramarine blue, straight out of the jar, no need to add anything to it. And filling out that negative space, again, this color is not super accurate right now, but it's underpainting to give us an idea of how much of the negative space is occupied with that blue. Once we have that, I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber to the blue, and that will get us black. Again, these are just notes for later on for the underpainting. We do know that the value of the shadow of the fabric is going to be a dark blue, not necessarily black, but this will give us an idea for what to do later. Straight lemon yellow hue for the overall fabric. It may smudge, but actually the great thing about this color is that it is fairly translucent. We can still see all of our notes of pencil as we lay on some of this brown into the yellow to get us some shadow. I'm adding some white as well for both the highlights, but also to lay over and give us a lighter version of that yellow. We'll get closer to the actual yellow when we paint in tomorrow, but these are just to give us some ideas and some notes for later on.